mpaka mtoto akwe anza kudema, baadaye anaanza kutembea, anaanza kuongea na kadhalika. Sasa baada ya hiyo yote wewe unakuja kudharau mwanamke, ati wewe ni mwanaume. Nasema wewe ni mpumbavu, sio? Ni mpumbavu. Hey, mpaka tuheshimu kina mama, maana bila kina mama kuna uhai katika taifa letu. Nataka kuona kama kina mama wetu wanatembea kama wana majivuno kama wa Kenya. Let them be respected like Kenyan.
In spreading the gospel of Azimio la Umoja in Ukambani region, he has assured residents from arid and semi-arid areas that his government will ensure availability of water in the region.
Karibu Kiti.
Junet Mohammed has defended Raila Odinga from claims that he's a government project and is being manipulated for governmental gains.
Thank you very much. Waziri wanakuunga wewe mkono, sijui Matiang'i amefanya nini. Hizo ni tactics za upinzani. Wanajitayarisha kukataa matokeo ya uchaguzi ya 2022. Na mimi nimeanza kuwa na wasiwasi. I want William Ruto to assure this country that he will accept the results of the elections of August 2022.
Dressed in striking orange cap, women from Ukambani region, stronghold of Okako Principal Kalonzo Musyoka, says that they have identified Raila as the most ideal presidential aspirant with the potential to address the challenges facing the country. Now that ODM party leader Raila Odinga is not in touch with his pointman Kalonzo Musyoka, he has decided to hit the ground hard to consolidate Ukambani votes with his campaign scheduled for Friday this week in that region. Mariam Jahid, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mariam Jahid. Still on matters politics, Deputy President William Ruto started his 3-day tour of Kisumu County in a bid to woo voters in the region that is known to be ODM leader Raila Odinga's stronghold, as Sheila Ngetich reports.
Landing at the Susan Owiyo Arts Center in Kisumu County today, the second-in-command is yet again visiting the ODM leader's backyard, popularizing his bid for the top seat and his economic model and the hustler narrative. Upon his arrival, DP Ruto hosted allies from Nyanza region as well as coordinators of the United Democratic Alliance in the Lake region. The DP is expected to host a series of political rallies in Kisumu County before heading to Homa Bay and Migori counties. Tomorrow, he will tour the famous Kondele district, then head to Kisumu West constituency at Nyahera before winding up his tour at the Nyalunya Primary School in Kisumu East. Meanwhile, earlier on today, DP Ruto met with UDA aspirants from the Rift Valley region, chatting on the vitality of his economic model.
There is a threat that faces Kenya. It is the millions of young people who, with their energy, their talent, their knowledge, their education, have nothing useful to do.
All eyes are on Kisumu County as the second-in-command takes his campaigns to the region. How will their reception be? Sheila Ngetich, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Sheila Ngetich. Meanwhile, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi has asked politicians not to bring further any form of petitions on IEBC going forward for the sole purpose for the Commission to fully concentrate on election matters as 2022 election nears. Musalia has also urged those eyeing different political seats to consider vying on an ANC ticket. Today, the party had its PG meeting where it was proposed that ANC continues to popularize Musalia Mudavadi's presidential bid across the country by engaging in continuous Meet the People tours reaching all Kenyans from all walks of life.
As ANC, we had a parliamentary group meeting here, hosted by party leader Musalia Mudavadi, and we have discussed several issues, including the constitutional requirement that we have an NDC meeting that will endorse our party leader as our presidential candidate in 2022 general election.
Tumekubaliana kwa kauli moja kwamba Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi is even stronger than ever before kuwania kiti cha urais mwaka wa 2022.
Wanasiasa, tafadhali tusijaribu kuleta petitions za kuanza kutatiza IEBC wakati huu.
tumebaki na muda mfupi sana. Kile tungependa IEBC ipate ni pesa za kutosha ili watekeleze mandate yao kulingana na kutuelekeza kwa uchaguzi ambao utakuwa wa haki na ukweli na ambao utaaminika kwa Wakenya wote na hatimaye katika sehemu.
And away from politics, another worry has popped up of a lack of enough COVID-19 syringes. And with over 5 million people vaccinated in the country and only 1 million out of those having received the second dose, it begs the question whether the country will vaccinate a total of 10 million people by December as the world faces a shortage of syringes. Now, according to UNICEF, by 2022, the globe will face an imminent shortfall of up to 2.2 billion auto-disposable syringes for COVID-19 vaccination. This includes syringes for Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccination. To address this gap, a Kilifi-based Kenyan firm has been contracted by UNICEF India to supply 50 million pieces of the 2 ml vaccine syringes as the world continues to look for other alternative syringes that can be used for vaccination. Meanwhile, the country has today recorded 26 COVID-19 cases, 88 recoveries and 2 deaths, bringing the positivity rate to 1.9%.
Revital Healthcare has been awarded a quantity of 50 million pieces of the 2 ml syringes. And in 2 ml, we make 2 ml 2-part and we make 2 ml 3-part. So we have received contracts for both. In addition to this, UNICEF Global has given us a blanket contract for the whole of 2022, where they'll be booking 100% of the products that are manufactured, specifically the 0.5 ml syringe. For the first time in history, we are doing the opposite. We are doing the reverse role, where we're now exporting to these countries around the world, India, Europe, and so on and so forth.
People living with HIV took to the streets today to decry lack of viral test kits used to detect HIV levels in those infected. According to protesters, they have not been able to know of their viral load for a year now due to lack of the kits. Kenya has about 1.6 million people who are living with HIV, with above 1 million of them on ARV treatment. Knowing one's viral levels gives them hope to stay on the prescribed HIV care regimen.
Another storehouse of HIV care package has hit the country yet again.
I don't know my viral load test. I don't know if I am responding to treatment. I don't know if the treatment is even working.
The test kits, which are meant to monitor HIV levels in the system, have now been unavailable for the past 1 year. The HIV champions are now calling on the President and the First Lady for intervention after their calls on the Ministry of Health and the HIV stakeholders fell on deaf ears.
I want to challenge the President himself and the First Lady, who is the champion of Beyond Zero campaign. Children born with HIV are suffering. Children born to positive women are suffering. Why is there no viral load testing?
This protest comes just a month after the launch of Undetectable Equals Untransmittable, alias U equals U campaign, which is a scientific finding that those who adhere to their ARVs have low chances of transmitting HIV to others. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Joan Kutunyi.
Thank you, John Kutunyi. CPR is an emergency procedure used when a person's breathing or heartbeat is stopped. It combines rescue breathing and chest compression, where rescue breathing provides oxygen to the person's lungs and chest compression, keeping oxygen-rich blood flowing until the heartbeat and breathing can be restored. Our very own Apollo James explores this procedure and brings us this story.
If you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, it's important to act fast. Helping to save a life might be easier than you might think. Just start hands-only CPR, which stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
We have students in session, and currently we are taking them through cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation basically is done for someone who's had cardiac arrest. So when we talk about cardiac arrest, it just means the heart has stopped. And what can you do when someone's heart has stopped? So this is what we're teaching our students. So as you can see, they are demonstrating a one rescuer and as well as a two rescuer approach. So one rescuer means you're alone. It can either be you're at home, in the office, on the streets, wherever you are. So there's still something that you can do.
The first step is to send someone to call your local emergency response number or call it yourself. Then get directly over the victim.
The first thing that you want to do is ensure it's safe around the patient as well as safe for you to approach. Then you want to check for their response. So response means you're calling out to them. Hello, can you hear me? Open your eyes. If they don't respond to you now, you shout for help. And when you're shouting for help, you want to make sure that you ask for the adequate help. So you want to tell someone, please call for an ambulance, ask them to come with an AED. So once you've shouted for help, then you want to quickly confirm if the person is breathing. And now our students, because they're being taken through the medical course, which is the emergency medical technician, as well as the paramedic, we go ahead and teach them how to check for a pulse. So a pulse is basically you're checking whether the heart is pumping. Now, if the heart is not pumping, meaning there's no pulse and the patient is not breathing, then you want to start now the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or better known as CPR, where you now want to press on the chest.
Put the heel of one hand in the center of the chest, then put your other hand on top of the first.
As you can see, they're doing now the chest compressions, which are 30. Then after the 30 compressions, they'll give the rescue breathing. So rescue breathing means they're going to be giving the patient oxygen so that this patient's body or blood receives the oxygen, and as they're pumping the heart, the oxygen is being circulated to the vital organs.
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation is a life-saving technique. It aims to keep blood and oxygen flowing through the body when a person's heart and breathing stops. CPR can be performed by any trained person. It involves external chest compressions and rescue breathing.
Now, again, the other rescuer, if the ambulance arrives with the AED, this is now the automated external defibrillator. And this automated external defibrillator's work is basically to recognize if this patient has any abnormal rhythm, or what we call arrhythmias. So when this AED machine is attached to the patient, as you can see demonstrated, it's going to detect if there's an abnormal heart rhythm. If there's this abnormal electrical activity, then it's going to say shock advised. And in lay language, you say you deliver the shock, which is actually you want to defibrillate the heart to stop the abnormal heart rhythm, to give the heart a chance to pump on its own.
Now that you know how to act, we hope that you will save a life. That's it for today from the Red Cross Training Institute with your network of paramedics and lifesavers. Apollo James, Switch Television.
Thank you, Apollo James, for taking us through that vital life-saving technique. We now take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Keep it sweet. Welcome back. Thank you for keeping it Switch TV. As the 2022 general polls approach, the Nairobi gubernatorial race is something to look out for as candidates continue to declare their interest. Our political reporter Flora Limuki speaks to Westlands Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi, who has served the constituency for 10 years and is now eyeing the Nairobi gubernatorial seat. Take a look.
15 years in politics and 10 of those years as Westlands Member of Parliament. This is Tim Wanyonyi's story, the man who lost his ability to walk 21 years ago.
I had an accident about more than 20 years ago where I met with people who are carjackers, and in the process of taking my car, they ended up shooting me, and that's how I ended up in this wheelchair. It has been a long journey, but yeah, I'm good. I believe that through the leadership of participation, because I allow people to speak up their mind and explain which areas they need us to improve and what do we need to do. So I engage people, and whatever we have done, I think I don't take credit for myself. I believe that it has been a collective effort between myself and the resident of Westlands. And that, I think, has worked very well for me. And I believe that I can do it somewhere else also.
Your name suggests that you have a relationship with the Ford Kenya party leader, Moses Wetangula. Why ODM and not Ford Kenya, or is it politics and family separately?
I'll be vying on ODM party, and I'm sure there will be no changes at that. Last election, Ford Kenya worked with us in the ODM, but I still remained a member of ODM. I'm a senior member of ODM. And whatever he does, that's his business. Me, I am here doing my own thing in the ODM. My party leader is Raila Amolo Odinga. And even if my brother was vying on the other side, I'll support Raila Odinga. That is my choice, and we have no problem with it.
So when do we expect you to declare your intention to vie for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat?
Not yet. I'm working on it. The moment I make a declaration, then I will now embark on looking for a deputy. You know, a deputy, you don't want just anybody to sit behind you. You want somebody who can work with you.
For the last 1.5 years, Nairobi Metropolitan Services has been overseeing activities of Nairobi County.
I can say they have done fairly well, yes, because there are areas which were actually not doing very well, but they have come in, they have improved. They have also shown that with the good leadership, things can be done in this city. I believe that Nairobi is yearning for freshness, for fresh air and new order. I think we can deliver services to the people and also improve the Nairobi to become one of the best places for anyone to live in.
Less than 9 months to the 2022 general elections, the Nairobi gubernatorial race tightens with at least 3 candidates having shown their interest already. Flora Limuki, Switch TV.
And from the business desk, at least 92 foreign companies, most of them Chinese, will showcase latest manufacturing technology to local small and medium businesses. The expo provides a platform for technology transfer, boosting intertrade and enhancing the opening of the gateway between Kenya and China, as our business reporter Damaris Nyambura narrates.
At least 92 foreign companies, mostly from China, will showcase latest manufacturing technology to small and medium businesses keen to up productivity and enhance efficiency under the theme, Building a Strong Manufacturing Sector Amidst COVID-19.
So now this one, I would like to say that is now how our exhibition not only a trade fair, but it's a platform for communication and partnership.
This comes at a time when there is a trade imbalance between Kenya exports and imports China. According to the United Nations Comtrade database on international trade, Kenya exports to China stood at $139.01 million and Kenya imports from China was $3.39 billion in the past year. The expo is key in helping the country achieve the industrialization dream under Vision 2030.
With that, we know that there is a great imbalance, but we as government are trying to do our best to make sure that we bridge this gap by making sure that we attract investors to come and use the local materials or local products, and then they can export to China. Especially Kenya's backbone of the economy, of course, depends on agriculture, and things like avocado, flowers, and coffee, tea, it's been mentioned. But we want now to encourage the Chinese investors and any other foreign investor to come and package these materials in the country and export to the overseas destination, especially China. In that, we will be bridging that trade deficit.
The two-day event at Sarit Center here in Nairobi is said to be organized by the KNCC and the Kenya Investment Authority. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Damris Nyambura.
Thank you, Damaris Nyambura. The Kenya-Dubai trade is set to receive a major boost after the launch of the Dubai.com, an e-commerce platform that links wholesale businesses in Kenya and Dubai. The platform that will see both vendors and buyers get verified promises an open trade forum with a variety of products of online commerce. Our business reporter Brian Mwende speaks to DP World Chief Operations Officer Mahmoud Al-Bastaki and files the following report.
Mr. Mahmoud, welcome to the conversation. What is Dubai all about?
It's an e-commerce platform, B2B, wholesale, targeted to enable the Kenyan buyers to get all their needs from the e-commerce, and also the Kenyan exporters to export out of Kenya and to a new market, and in a very secured and end-to-end logistics solution provider.
Why the Kenyan space?
Kenya's government is very progressive. The young generation is the dominant one. They are the promise for the future. They are the one who are dictating everybody to go online. Kenya is ready in terms of infrastructure of digital transformation. The internet penetration is very high. One of the highest in the region. So this platform is meant for all the small and medium organizations who have not been given the chance to get advantage of the digital world.
Mr. Mahmoud, Kenyans have suffered in the hands of e-commerce platforms. What you see is not what you get. How is Dubai different from these e-commerce platforms?
This is absolutely the right question. This is a concern for any e-commerce. We overcome this by having credible sellers. What I mean by credible sellers, we check who is being onboarded into the site. We check their history, their types of products, the standards of their products, and we sign vendor agreement. We even verify the buyer, because the buyer also is at the other end of the equation, plays a role as well, because once they place an order, they should be serious, they should be honoring their payment, and this is what Dubai is all about.
Mahmoud, welcome to Kenya, and thank you for creating time. My name is Brian Mwende.
Thank you, Brian Mwende. Meanwhile, the Konza Technopolis Development Authority, KOTDE, has launched a short-range tree planting campaign that aims to plant 20,000 trees in 2 months. The launch, which coincides with the ongoing Conference of Parties COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, aims at accelerating the actions towards climate change, focusing on increasing the country's forest cover while creating a green urban environment within Konza Technopolis.
Part of the greening initiative of our country, Konza developed what we call Konza Greening Initiative, and we want to work towards achieving the country's target of 10% tree cover. And additionally, we want to ensure that we comply with what our country has committed, even what's going on at COP26 Glasgow in terms of climate change.
Today is an important day that we join the Konza Technopolis in increasing the 10% cover by planting trees in this area. This will be a very important because trees play a very important role in environmental conservation, and climate mitigation.
It's now time to get sporty. Harambee Stars held their last training session at Nyayo Stadium before heading to Uganda for their FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifiers match. The team will depart tomorrow to face the Uganda Cranes, and the match will be played on Thursday evening at St. Kitenda Stadium. Omar Mohammed reports.
Harambee Stars captain Michael Olunga is optimistic that Team Kenya will finish their 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign on a high note by winning their 2 remaining matches.
Ni opportunity ingine tena poa ku come back ku represent Kenya national team, and tunajua tunaenda kucheza na Uganda na Rwanda. Of course we don't have a chance to qualify, but we have our pride to protect. Tunaenda kucheza, it's going to be East African derby, and always a derby is a derby, you know.
On the other hand, coach Engin Firat echoed his sentiments, saying the team should not treat the 2 remaining matches as a mere formality.
We have a mixed team of experienced and young players, and also not so experienced players. We have young, very talented players. So, you know, for us anyway, our chance is very, very low. Therefore, it's more important how we play. And
Harambee Stars have to win both matches against Uganda and Rwanda for them to qualify for World Cup come 2022. Omar Mohammed, Switch TV.
Thank you, Omar Mohammed. Elsewhere, Rangers boss Steven Gerrard remains high on Aston Villa's list of potential targets to replace Dean Smith, who was sacked last weekend, but other contenders are under discussion. Villa's hierarchy are impressed by Gerrard's work in revitalising Rangers in what is his first managerial job. Gerrard, meanwhile, is a close friend of Villa CEO Christian Paslow, following their time together at Liverpool when Paslow was managing director. Demar DeRozan scored 28 points, Zach LaVine added 24, and the Chicago Bulls used a 42-point fourth quarter to pull away from a 118-95 victory over the Brooklyn Nets. Rookie Ayo Dosunmu had a season-high 15 points and played a key role in the late rally as Chicago snapped a 2-game losing streak. Kevin Durant, who entered as the NBA's leading scorer with a 28.6 average, had 38 points, but Brooklyn had its 5-game winning streak snapped. LaMarcus Aldridge added 19.
Third 3 of the night for Harden on 5 attempts.
Anthony Davis rebounded from a rough shooting start to finish with 32 points on 13-25 shooting, and Carmelo Anthony continued to run Staples Center with 29 points off bench. But the Lakers still managed to blow a double-digit lead in the final minutes of the fourth quarter and needed overtime to beat the Charlotte Hornets 126-123. The Lakers got an added boost at the end of the quarter when Melo nearly lost his balance on the inbounds play, but somehow got the ball to Malik Monk, who drained a 41-foot buzzer beater from half-court against his old team.
With 1 minute to play in overtime, it's a one-point contest.
At exactly 31 minutes past 7 p.m, we come to the end of this news broadcast. Many thanks for watching. I am Lincoln Wumbugo. Sign language interpreter is Michael Maithia. My producer has been Safi Kadana, and my director Antoinette Dede. Good evening.